it's Georgina Katerina here, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are subscribed here, welcome back, because obviously you guys are used to coming back here all the time. Today's video is probably one of my favorite ideas that I've come up with, seeing as I spend a lot of time on Wattpad, to be exact. If you don't know who I am on Wattpad, it is Adela Rose Martin, and pretty much I've come here today just to show you the easiest steps it is to planning your own novel / original works on Wattpad way soon enough. But the first thing that I always tend to do when it comes to original stories is, if I am inspired by a TV show, a movie, a song, if I feel like there's a song, like a story within a song that I can write in my own way, I will tend to write down some basic ideas, listen to the song over and over again, just like a couple of times, so that I can get like a good feeling of what it is that I am writing. Then I decide to put it under one. Okay, as I was saying, categories can come last, but always remember, where do you think your story will fit in the category section? Always make time to make sure that you know where your characters sit. Also, this is kind of one of my own books. It's called Come Sail Away. If you can see, I've kind of written my own ideas. I've even gone on to the next page and I've kind of written a few of my things. Now, just with this one, I left out the love interest because I'm not quite sure where I'll flow through in the story. It's a weird thing because I actually wrote the plot / description / summary, because that's really what you call it. I kind of wrote that before I wrote anything else. I kind of had the idea thanks to Marvel's Runaway, because it kind of gave me a little bit of such a good idea of where I could go with the story. It will be similar, but it won't be like a Marvel show. It just is a normal book, but it's got similarities to Marvel's Runaway. Not a lot. So I can tell you with certainty that the worst thing to do in an original story, like the worst part of it, is literally the OCs, so the original characters' names. They're the hardest to come up with. My favorite place to always go to get original characters is definitely, like, names for the original characters is definitely like fantasynamegenerator.com. That's the best place that you could go and get them. Normally, in my case, I'll have the playlist done before I have the plot done or the characters done, or any way in that shape or form will I normally have that done. But it was Come Sail Away by Olivia Holt that really got me inspired to kind of write something, because the song was just so inspiring and it just kind of made me think about this kind of, you know, idea. So I really thank it for giving me that idea. And also, like, when you come to face claims, it's really kind of just who you think would kind of work together or would sit together in a perfect group setting. So that's where I came with, like, my characters. I'm not going to give them away because that would be not a good idea, seeing as this book is not up. I will put the covers up as well for you to see, because the covers are a part of this. Usually I would say use your face claim, but in some certainties, I can't talk today at the moment, it would just be smart to go with something simple that relates or reflects to the story, because that's how I see it working. Now, I always say when you've got like a little space beside like your title, your love interest, your OCs, your face claims, or your plot, just to write some little ideas, or write them on the back of the page if there's nothing there, or on another page if there's nothing there. I always think that it's good to kind of have that space to write ideas, and that too, if you're kind of like me, who never really sticks to one story at a time, write some ideas down, because otherwise you're just going to forget and you're going to have writer's block and you're going to wonder why the hell you wrote this book to begin with. And when you're at 18 original stories like me, it's a sucky thing to do. So always, in my defense, start with the plot. If the title's already there, write it down. then come up with your OCs, how many you're gonna have. At the moment I have, I've got 9, and I've got 9 face claims. Of course I've got the plot as well. Playlist is still coming. Normally I have my playlist done and it's like complete like that. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. Always write a short plot, don't give too much away. Kind of summarize what you think is going to happen in the whole book. It's always a good thing. I learned that from someone I talked to on Wattpad. Always told me to summarize the book because she does that a lot. And honestly, if the plot is like a tiny little thing, it gives them more like a mystery. And you know, your tags and your categories can come after that, because obviously if you look on Wattpad, it'll show you just what you've got to do. You put in your title, your cover, your description. I always say put your description in the box, in the description box. So your description for your book should go in there. I always do that, but then I also put it in a little spare one where I could put the cast if I want to. You kind of, it's hard because I always say don't time. Everything will come to you, but make sure you just plan. I am saying that now. Well, I have an inspired idea here. I feel like whatever you watch, whatever you read, whatever you listen to will always give you ideas. And I've gotten that from Mine by Taylor Swift. I've gotten that from Come Sail Away. I've got that from Jericho by Hilary Duff. I've gotten it from Now or Never. The only 2 books that I will say that I wrote, 3 that I wrote without having any ideas and just coming up with it wholly and solely myself would have to be Mute, Wicked Games, and The Last Note, which, by the way, I have kind of stood off writing because there's so much that I have to come up with and so much to do. I feel like at the moment I'll only work on 2 of my original stories and then I'll post them. At the moment I've got Story of Us, which is kind of my Taylor Swift Mine inspired story. So I feel like that'll go somewhere. I don't even know why I'm saying that. But just take your time, don't rush it, make it the way you would want to see it, and just kind of make it your way. Don't make it similar to what you're watching. Don't make it similar to the song. Don't make it, you know, in that form. I would say don't use the title song unless it has something to do with the story itself. Like, of course, don't use Mine if you're making a inspired by that song, because it just doesn't sit. And just kind of be ready for it not to take off as quickly as you expect. Just make sure that you believe in it as much as you and your friends and people that are around you have read it or you've spoken to them about it. No, because you're going to come to a point in your life where you're going to want to take it down, you're going to want to go overboard with it and stuff like that. And I just say, write it the way you think it's going to go, put a simple cover on it, write at least 5 chapters, I would say, or 10 if you want to, and then post them, and then write your next 10 chapters, then write another 10 chapters. I don't do that, but I have now. And don't be afraid to have very mixed responses when it kicks off and you have those 10 chapters, and some people you want to give their own opinions on how they feel about it, because people will, because people are made that way. And just kind of believe in the work, follow your kind of steps. That's going to be a step. So your step is kind of, step 1 is kind of writing your plot, step 2 is kind of finding how many original characters you want, how many you're going to be able to jump in and out of, if you're going to jump out of in and out of point of views, who's like the main, who's like the second main, who's like the third main, and who's the love interest. that goes for the main, or you know, whatsoever. Face claims, if you want face claims, you can choose from actresses, actors, models, you know, YouTubers, if you want to make it, you know, them used and known and in that community. It's basically up to you. And then the next is kind of your title if you haven't come up with it already. And then the next is kind of a playlist. If you've got it, you can have 31 songs, you can have 10 songs, which in my mind doesn't fit with your story unless it's a really short story. And 20 if you're feeling just like 20, 25, however many chapters you feel like your book would have, then you can have the story. I feel like I'm just gonna expand my story, so I always go for 31 sometimes. If I feel like the story will be kind of wholly and solely up to you, and you can set it out if you like too, how you're gonna have it on Wattpad, how it's gonna suit that person. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If I keep going, I'll babble forever. So that's pretty much it. You can like the video, make sure you subscribe. I don't unfortunately have a Twitter at the moment due to the fact that I've been locked out of my account. I don't know why I'm smiling about that. I've been locked out of my account, so I don't have a Twitter at the moment. I would say go follow me on all my other social medias, because I have social medias for my Wattpad. Give them out, because I don't want people following me that aren't a Wattpadder person, because I built kind of these separate accounts for just my whole solo purpose for Wattpadding. So unless you are a Wattpadder, you'll be able to find those accounts on my Wattpad, which is always linked in the description. So if you want to find my Wattpad, it will be linked in the description. It always is. It also is linked in my little bar when you are on my page. So make sure you go there. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell beside it, because I mean I'll be posting till like so that is pretty much it. Everything is linked down below. Every song, the song in my intro, the song in the background, obviously. I'm just gonna stop talking now. Yeah, so make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
I like your dad. He was nice to me.
He's nice to all his patients. Even the ones who lie to him.
What?
Why did you start seeing him in the first place? Constance thought you needed help.
I did.
Problem, Hannah. You're always the problem. What? The rest of us are getting ulcers trying not to say the wrong thing, and you're getting hammered in front of Emily's mom and blabbing to a stranger. I told you I was sorry. No, you didn't tell me that.